Just when you thought it was safe to submit an idea to your employer, hold on. Before you do, read The Anatomy of a Corporate Lynching, Updated Edition, and avoid the Great White Sharks. Available on Amazon worldwide. And hear the audiobook featuring a cast of actors delivering the facts exclusively at fourthfordbooks.com.
A South African pastor, and I'm using that term very loosely, has been convicted of plotting to overthrow the government in addition to his plans to invoke a national insurrection. The clergyman devised a scheme of genocide hoping to kill thousands of black people. Boy, those white supremacists, I told y'all, when I was in South Africa, I told a few brothers and sisters, y'all better keep your eyes on these white supremacists because they plotting on y'all. They plotting because they want y'all back in apartheid. They can't stand to see y'all running the government. They can't stand to see y'all, doing things and saying things to them that y'all would never have said during apartheid. Trust me on that. Now, I say on Monday, June the 6th, Reverend Harry Johannes Nosen, they said, who serves as the head of the National Christian Resistance Movement. Oh, Christian, Jesus. Let me tell y'all something. They cannot be a Christian. You know why they can't be a Christian? Because they can't even follow the Ten Commandments. Anyway, he said he was found guilty by the Middleburg High Court, sitting in the Middleburg Magistrates Court, of 5 charges related to conspiring to commit treason and to take over the government. The courts noted he used his platform as a religious leader to recruit and incite others to commit violent attacks. It said the official charge for the 64-year-old white supremacist was a contravention of the Protection of the Constitution, Democracy Against Terrorism and Related Matters Act. Now, they said prosecutors say one of the acts is his right-wing organization, also called the Crusaders. Boy, that is original, right? You say explored implementing to take over the country was a biological weapon to infect and kill black people. Officials successfully argued, the white supremacist group planned to poison the water reservoirs that were accessed by and supplied to black communities. Now, they said the court also found, the preacher who represented himself guilty of unlawful possession of firearms after weapons and ammunition were found in a place, Middleburg, a small town in eastern Mpumalanga province. If I'm butchering that, brothers and sisters in South Africa, next time I come, y'all give me some education. Where he was, staying, when officers arrested him. Now, the white supremacist is one of 5 other individuals suspected of planning a national insurrection. Their alleged, motivation was to replace the secular government with members of the Christian organization. To make their impact, they planned implementations targeting national key points, malls, and informal settlements. On November 28, 2019, the prosecutors alleged that the white supremacist mission was motivated by his highly racial views and a desire to reclaim South Africa for white people. Let's stop right there. I told y'all, and I'm going to repeat this again. Brothers and sisters in South Africa, listen to your brother. We have been dealing with the white supremacists for a long time, and we know the white supremacists do not like to take orders from black people and follow laws that black people create. In their rabid minds, they feel they should always be over you and oppressing you. So that really bothers them. A lot of them complain all the time. Brothers and sisters, you in South Africa, they complain all the time about how, things were better. Some of them would say during apartheid. I'm pretty sure it was for you, but not for black people. But I feel the greatest mistake that Nelson Mandela made in 1994 was not brokering a deal with the Netherlands to take them back to their homeland. It is nothing wrong with the Netherlands. I've been to Amsterdam, just briefly. They seem pretty cool over there to me. I didn't see nothing bad with nobody. What is wrong with going back to your homeland, the Netherlands? If you don't like black folk, then carry your happy self to the Amsterdam. Why do you continue want to be there when it's a country full of black folk? Now, I will say this to my brothers and sisters in South Africa. I understand about the immigration issue. Trust me, I get it. I get it better than anybody can look at the immigration issue in this country. But when they talked about poisoning the water supply that's going to black people, they didn't focus on, well, you know what? I'm only going to poison the black South Africans and I'm going to leave the Zimbabweans alone. I'm going to leave this with the Ethiopians and the Eritreans and I'm going to leave the Nigerians. No. He said black. And y'all have to understand, we are the same. We are the same everywhere I have been. We are the same. We're always talking about identity all the time. To me, it's almost an obsession with our people globally is identity. I'm like, okay, I am who I am. When I go places, I'm a Black American. I represent that history. I represent that lineage. And I always want to be a proud representative of Black America. Any country that I go, I will tell them in a minute, I'm a Black American. Because I understand, who my history is, who I am, or whatever. And we need people on the international stage that's going to represent us and represent us right. When I go on any platform that's international, I know I got the weight of Black America on my back at the time, and I need to represent for Black America at that time. And anytime I've went on places, people say, man, you represented for us, Phil, because that's my job. That's what I have to do. I'm never going to forget Black America, no matter where I'm at in the world. Even if when I leave America, I'm still never going to forget my Black American people. And I'm still going to speak up and say, hey, this is what we feel about it. This is what it is, X, Y, and Z. We got to have people that's international, and you got to have some people on the home front. It's just what it is. The white supremacists move like that as well. But I get the situation about immigration. I get why people in Operation Dadula is doing what they're doing. I get it. But y'all got to understand that when the white supremacist is coming for you, he sees just black. He don't care nothing about all these differences. Because, in the Black world, we so quick to point out, you not my people. I'm better than you. I got culture. You don't have culture. We do this better, but we ain't like you. Don't marry this one, but do this. We all the same. Arguing about identity. I wish we just get over that already, except whoever our identity is. If we're Black American, cool, we Black American. You Nigerian, cool, be Nigerian. You a Ghanaian, you from Barbados, you are wherever you from, okay, that's who you are. I rock with you if you cool people, all right. We all got our differences, and we should respect all those differences. But when it comes to the white supremacists, they don't care about those differences, bruh or sis. They don't care. All they see is black, I'm attacked. That's it. Until black folk understand that globally, we can actually get somewhere in life. That's why I believe we need to work together as black people. And if a black person don't want to work with you, wherever they come from, leave them alone, let them be, and get with the black folk that want to work with you. I'm a firm believer of that. I would dismiss you so quick because I ain't got time to play games with any of you, no matter where you come from. If you on some BS to me and not trying to unify and not trying to work together as a people, then I can't rock with you. And I'm going to let you do you, wherever that may be. I'm not for the division of black people. I'm not. I'm not for the tribalism, because tribalism haven't got black people nowhere. And tribalism is practiced all in the black world. And if tribalism was so great, why aren't we doing better with it then? Why? We all suffering, but we got all this tribalism. The white supremacists, they don't like each other either. They are against each other, but when it comes to us, they quickly link up and get on code. They put them differences aside and say, look, we got to be on code with each other against black folk. Now, continue. They say that he would use social media to instigate racial tensions between white and black citizens in South Africa. He even admitted to sharing recipes on Facebook to manufacture explosives with his followers. And they said to further this end, he said he planned to attack government institutions and more specifically police and military institutions. According to a Monica Nwisa, it say a spokeswoman for the National Prosecuting Authority. Now, say police spokesperson Colonel Katligo Mogale said the Crusaders' terrorist threat. He said this objective has been achieved by carrying out attacks on military and police installations as well as informal settlements occupied by African persons. And let me tell y'all something else. Another group y'all really need to watch out for, I'm telling y'all, in South Africa, AfriForum. AfriForum is a white supremacist organization that's growing in South Africa. And black folk, hear what I'm telling you in South Africa. Hear me very, very well. You cannot let the white supremacists get a foothold in any organization or whatever. Y'all are the majority. So y'all cannot let AfriForum do the things that they're doing. They are a white supremacist organization, and you should call them such. All the people that's running AfriForum are complete white supremacists. They out here linking up with other white supremacist groups, going to these little rural areas and training with all kind of weapons so they can commit attacks against black people. Y'all better take heed to that. Y'all better take heed, because these white supremacists want y'all back in apartheid. AfriForum should not be allowed to exist in South Africa, because you think this guy is the only one that's plotting against black folk? You really think he's the only one? That's the one they caught. What about the ones right now in South Africa they haven't caught yet? That's what you got to think about. You're going to have to put your differences aside, brothers and sisters, and understand you're going to have to unify and say, look, we got issues and problems, but we all threatened by a white supremacist and what they planning to do. The white supremacists should not be allowed to have any groups. They shouldn't be allowed to have guns or anything, because they're plotting on you. They're plotting to try to hurt and harm the people and overtake the government. Now, a Lieutenant General, Godfrey Lebeya, said that it once shows again an excellent intelligence gathering. It said in dedicated investigation preventing a bloodbath in the country. It said if the planned attack was not prevented and disrupted, it said it would have led to a racial war in South Africa. Yeah, I believe that. Oh, I believe that. If he would have been successful at killing thousands of black people, a response would have definitely happened. It would have been bad. So I will say good police work. Good police work, brothers and sisters in South Africa, for foiling the devil's plot. But y'all got to clamp down on these white supremacists. Like I said, AfriForum stirs up a lot of stuff. So look into AfriForum, brothers and sisters. It's in South Africa. Look into them. Now, they said the sentencing had been postponed. They said he had other defendants, Daniel Abrams, 57, Errol Abrams, 52. They pled guilty in December 2020 and have been sentenced to 15 years, for their crimes. They said, but since their sentencing, 7 years have been suspended, and I don't know why. They said the brothers were also hit with 5-year sentences for financing terrorism, unlawful possession of a prohibited firearm, unlawful possession of a firearm, and unlawful possession of ammunition, and unlawful possession of more than 200 cartridges. Yeah, they were trying to start a war. Said the colonel said effectively each is accused will serve 8 years in prison. All of the sentences will run concurrent with the sentence of preparing and planning to carry out terrorist attacks. Now, in my opinion, what they done, they all should have been sentenced to life in prison at minimum, or the death penalty. I would say more the death penalty, but if you don't want to go that route, life in prison without the possibility of parole. Okay? But brothers and sisters in South Africa, just please hear me. Keep an eye on them white supremacists. Now, South Africa, like I said, is a beautiful country. I rock with my brothers and sisters in South Africa. I will say that due to the legacy of apartheid and what we dealt with here in America with, Jim Crow and all of that, we definitely have almost the same stories, not the exact story, but it's definitely kind of the same in a way, especially the Jim Crow South and apartheid, from just what I see and just what I've heard, et cetera, right? And, for me, like I said, when I went to South Africa, I was sold. Johannesburg, I was sold. I came back, told my wife, and said, look, Johannesburg is it. Oh boy, I'm sold on it. I'm completely sold. I said, listen, we need to go back, take the kids, let them see it. Like I say, because that's the place that I definitely would like to move to. Got to have me a place in South Africa for sure. And I've always said that I will be going back and forth between whatever African country I choose to live in and here. That's just, I've been saying that from the beginning, And I know some people, get mad when you talk about that sort of thing. I don't know why, because I'm a U.S. citizen, and even if you don't know, even if you move to another country, as long as you hold U.S. citizenship, I still have to pay IRS taxes. Do you know that when you have another bank account overseas, that you got to let the United States know how much is in that bank account and what you got, et cetera, as a U.S. citizen? So I will never give up my blue passport. You can get mad all you want. Oh, well, you living over there. Why don't you, forget y'all. Forget y'all and anything you came on. All you do is run it off with your doggone mouth. A person would be stupid to give up their U.S. citizenship. Why would they do that? Nobody does that. You want to keep having access back to the country you were born and raised in, the country that I paid thousands of dollars of taxes in. and still paying taxes in. Please. You know, some people just love to run off of their mouth. Like my grandma would say, black folks, there's one thing they good at is talking. And say sometimes you just gotta just ignore something black people saying because they just want to be heard sometimes. And that's really what a lot of that is. So those of you who are, you know, considering, you know, having you a second place outside of America, do that. Don't be listening to other black folks trying to, well, if you want to move over there, why don't you like worry about you and not worry about me? How about that? Because whatever I choose to do, you ain't paying for nothing. You ain't paying for the freaking thing. You know, I want to connect with my brothers and sisters in the motherland. I'm going to do that. I connect with my brothers and sisters here. I'm going to do that too. I don't follow your rules. And y'all have to understand that, brothers and sisters. Don't follow nobody's rules. Nobody make no rules for you. You do whatever God put in your heart to do. And that's it. Because people going to talk about you if you do what they say do. So you might well do what you want to do. Whatever God put in your heart and wherever he take you, you know, in the earth. That's how I feel about that. Because one thing that we do in our community, we so quick to talk down our own people when they're trying to do something different, whatever that may be. So I just want to make sure to put that word out there to you. Go ahead and live your life, because you know what? The virus, if anything, should have showed you is that live your life to the full, because it could be gone like that. But let me know what you think about, you know, the situation with this white supremacists. Brothers and sisters in South Africa, once again, keep your eyes on those white supremacists, and definitely keep your eye on AfriForum. Friends and family, I would like you to check out blackcommunityspeak.com. Now, blackcommunityspeak.com is a forum-based website, so something that's very simple, where you can get on, you can get off, you know, get involved with a lot of topics. Now, Black Community Speaks is a place that's for black men and women to talk about issues that's affecting the entire community. So on blackcommunityspeak.com, they talk about topics in the range of news, what's going on in society, relationships, technology, business, food and recipes, gaming, health and fitness, you know, music, and many, many more. On Black Community Speak, it's a place where you can be safe to say what you want to say without the fear of big tech censorship. So make sure you head on over to blackcommunityspeak.com and sign up today.